The cake shed doesn't think so. The vines of the wailing serpent tree attack. There really is nothing to destroy. But acid leaves on the vine with a corrosive effect. It's the real killer move. I saw that the wailing snake tree suddenly waved several vines. Wrapped the black forest tiger in the egg shed. Constantly corrode each other with acid leaves. At this time, the armor of the black forest tyrant tiger was blurred by corroded flesh and blood. Entertainment was very distressed when he saw this, so he immediately conceded defeat. Then Gao Peng announced, "This competition, the winner was Brundy from the music zone." Then, his gaze fell on Lu Xiaosua's back. Wait a minute. Yulu thought that Gao Peng wanted to comfort himself. Let him not be annoying. Gao Peng. Chun Sheng said, I don't have time to comfort others. I remember that your mother was the leader of the bloodlust hunt. I have a business with him, and I want to talk to him. And do you want to know where you and Brownie are? The entertainment station is in place and repeats itself. I think it's because I don't have enough combat experience. Gao Peng hit the nail on the head and said the reason for the defeat. Brownie's presale is sure quality. And your Black Forest Tyrant Tiger. Just ordinary perfect quality. It dawned on Dior. No wonder he dared to use a plant to suck jade at the competition. It turned out that it was suppressed by quality. After that, Gao Peng patted him on the shoulder. I have a way to get your Black Forest bone blasting essence. If you want to take it a step further, you can come to me after the game. After saying that, he left the arena, leaving only the waves of fish in turmoil. I couldn't help but think to myself, what is the origin of this Gao Peng? He was originally a terrifying six-winged thunderbolt, but now she keeps being cute and cute in front of the camera. I just want to be able to get the favor of my master. Just now, Gao Peng returned to the referee's lounge. Wait for the next round to begin. Li Yu, who was sitting next to him, suddenly teased. Yesterday's news. It's basically all about you this time. It's a fire. The knife shed smiled. Say goodbye indifferently and laugh at my financial school. It's just a momentary heat. After a while, those people forgot about me. At this time, Guiqing looked at the schedule with a melancholy face. Unexpectedly, among the 32 players in the second round, Huaxia district accounts for only 1/4. But this percentage is not surprising to the field. Southeast Asia and Africa. Although the economic strength is weak, but their natural environment. This has led to a lot of strong pre-sales. And Guiqing, a native of Queensland. I've also heard about the method of pre-sale of training in Southeast Asia. It's like Yanggu. These words made Gao Peng a little evil. The first time I heard Yanggu's statement. At the beginning, major countries in Southeast Asia. After the formation of the government of the World Union. It was unified and called the Southeast Asia region. In the early days of the catastrophe, countless people were killed and injured. So many orphans were born. The orphans were then taken in by the government. Organize a training camp. At the same time, according to brutal militarized management. After reaching the age of 18, the pre-sale will be issued by the local government. Finally, the most brutal Yanggu mode is carried out. Each batch will determine the strongest one. As for the other orphans, there is almost no chance of survival. This extremely brutal mode of training made Gao Peng and Li Yu break out in a cold sweat. Therefore, there is a lament for the cruelty and ruthlessness of human nature. But from the elite who stand out in this brutal pattern, it will be spoken by major local family groups or the government. Not overnight. Women have money and status at their fingertips. But if there is no such road, these children are orphans. Even survival is hard to guarantee. Therefore, it is difficult to comment on this. These words made Gao Peng thoughtful. Imagine yourself might be able to do one of these trainings. The battalion slightly changed the cruel part of it. In the ability to improve pre-sales by itself. Let it be at the end. There is one more way for the orphans to survive in the world. Meanwhile, the eldest son is lazily lying in the sun in the manor. Suddenly heard Gao Peng's voice. What are you doing? Frightened, the eldest son instantly got up from the ground. Glanced around vigilantly. I thought I wanted Gao Peng too much and had auditory hallucinations. And not far from him on camera, Gao Peng's voice came again. You may not know what the power of technology is. I knew it from the first time you were lazy. I just want to give you a chance to repent. Now, every hour you're lazy. The number of workouts is increased by 1,000 reps. The eldest son just wanted to explain. Was interrupted by Gao Peng's criticism. I've been watching you all the time. I can see all your little gestures clearly. How else do you want to quibble? At this time, the eldest son racked his brains. The little head spins like a small motor. Then coquettish and cute at the camera. Said with a simple face, I like you the most. But Gao Peng's expression was still very indifferent. Do you think this trick will work for me? The eldest son on the other side of the camera is still coquettish and cute. I didn't hear good words about Gao Peng. Trying to get away with it. Seeing this, Gao Peng sighed lightly and said no. Finish the 10,000 that should be done today. I'll keep an eye on you. Don't be lazy. At this time, the bell in the lounge suddenly rang. Signal for the referees to prepare for the next round. At this time, Liu suddenly stopped Gao Peng shouting. I, as your senior, remind you. 12 contestants from Huaxia district. 8 of them advanced to the second round. And 3 of them. They're all eliminated in the tournament you're hosting. Gao Peng didn't understand the meaning of these words. Ask him what he means. Liu spread his hands. If there are more Huaxia districts, players are eliminated in your hands. There will be people who will see you as an excuse for defeat. The tree is a big move. The wind is high and the waves are urgent. Good luck. He was a terrifying spectacle throat, with its own uniqueness. Illusion ability. With a snap of your fingers, you can instantly kill the silver and round it. And his master is a very perverted bald head. But the Tarsiers didn't abandon him. They see him as their own. Just now, round 3 of the round 2 pre-sale team tournament is about to begin. The Tsunade of the African zone will face Kaneki of the Goryeo zone. At this time, Jin Mu took the silver shell. Fury and Nguyen Monster enter the ring. There were cheers from the stands. But Gao Peng was a little speechless. Complained that the appearance rate of Ruan and I Monster was too high. Almost every team has one. On the contrary, it is the pre-sale of African players. I've never seen anything before. After that, it is discovered through the system. This monkey's name is Go to Change Tarsiers. It is an extremely rare jade beast. Just because Tarsiers belong exclusively to Southeast Asia, and extremely attached to his hometown, as long as it is Dai Li's homeland. No matter what way it can't be fed. So Gao Peng was very curious. How he became a jade beast. At this time, Tsunade whispered to the giant Tarsiers, Grandma, don't be afraid that these humans won't hurt us. After listening to the giant Tarsiers, he looked at Tsunamu with a kind face. Gently stroke his head with a large hand. And the word grandma shocked Gao Peng. He had heard of a particular way of nurturing. We'll just die. The spirit of the cub. Long monsters and specially trained few. Years of being locked together. With the help of some means. Gain the favor of primate monsters. After that, after signing the blood gas will be simply realized. This is the method used in the program. Let the drama suffer from the eyeglasses and throat for the image of yourself. Become his commander. Accompanied by a young man in the arena. The second round of the pre-sale team competition has officially begun. Kaneki then ordered. The ooze monster dragged the rainforest scorpion. Look for opportunities to break them one by one. Melt. The ooze monster rises into the air and rushes towards the rainforest demon scorpion. Seeing this, the rainforest demon scorpion condensed in front of it. Out of a delicate water mist. As a result, this cold aura smashed down violently. Smashed the ooze monster's body to pieces. But the attack did not work. It's its own plot. Deeply sunk into the mud. Kaneki's sword is doing well. Hurriedly ordered Silver to attack the Tarsiers. Almost a Silver was angry and burst into power. Draw a punch at the giant Tarsia. Unexpectedly. The eyes of the giant Tarsiers glowed with a strange gaze. Jin Jiangyin was firmly controlled by Nu Yuan. It was as if countless transparent spider silks bound him. Gao Peng, who was supervising the battle on the side, was a little surprised. It's so simple to be mentally controlled. It seems that there is a big gap in strength. At this time, Tsunama showed an extremely strange voice, Grandma. She wants to hurt us. Kill her, Huang Luo. A hint of ferocity flashed in the eyes of the giant tarsiers. The slender palm began to contract slowly. The next moment, Silver's eyes were suddenly shattered by the angry aide. 2 bright red snowflakes burst out. Aoki was annoyed when he saw this. Loud screams. Silver was angrily helped. However, Gang Fu was not satisfied with the death of Silver Fury. The face is full of gloomy color. Grandma. There's also a bad guy. The bad guys have to die. I saw that the giant tarsiers spread their mental power outward. Fly like a tentacle towards Kaneki. But at this time, a mass of undead geese burned out of thin air in the void. The spiritual power of the giant tarsia was ignited in an instant. Gao Peng then looked at the representative of the program. Said according to the rules, do not attack a competitor for no reason. First warning. Though, the giant tarsia was hurt by the punishment. But the victory of this game is still determined by the program. Later, when Gao Peng returned to the lounge, many people came to express their gratitude. But Gao Peng felt that being a referee was really boring. Then it occurred to him, although the rules prohibit refereeing subordinates, however, there is no provision that the referee's pre-sale cannot fall. He was a terrible person. The gall of the Vajra grinds the teeth. But now he can't bear to cut his love. Spend all your pocket money just to buy a long-awaited ticket. Just now, Xiao Huang was lying on the wall. Observe others taking a bath intently. Can be sudden. Loud music came from the little red envelope on his shoulder. Recesses, please. The bathtub and soap were thrown at Xiao Huang. Each of them took 1,000 cuts to peek at the old lady taking a bath. Frightened, Xiao Huang hurriedly jumped off the wall. But because the center of gravity is unstable, accidentally fell and ate. Then he fled in a panic. Then he connected to Gao Peng's phone in a disgraced manner. What were you doing? Why don't you answer my phone? Xiao Huang stammered and said that he was busy. Gao Peng then gave him a task. You'll help me place my bets later. By airport, win or lose. It's sure to be a sure win. You can bring your food money for the next month. Aggravate. In the future, you will be able to eat 2 small servings of dried fish per meal. Xiao Huang's eyes lit up after listening. Guaranteed to complete the task. Then Xiao Huang came to the lottery branch of the imperial city. The moment his little feet walked into the store, the clerk hurriedly greeted him with a smile. But when he found out that it was a duck that had entered, the whole person was confused. I wonder if I didn't wake up. At this time, Xiao Huang's face was full of seriousness. Present the text message on your phone to the little brother. There are some differences in the little brother to buy Zhang Yisheng. Also win within 10 minutes. It's a super upset. Zhang Yi's opponent is Yanagi Tianxia in the Neon District. He is the favorite to win the World Championship. And the odds of winning or losing this game are 1:1060. The odds of winning in a minute are 1 hour 98 minutes. That is, winning is almost impossible. Then the clerk took out a league coin. Ask Huang how much he wants to buy. The voice fell. Xiao Huang poured out all the money in the little red envelope. Then he reluctantly pushed all the money to the little brother. After that, the little brother counted the money 3 times. Finally, it was confirmed that there were a total of 5,192 7 cents of Union coins. Do you have to be scared of everything? But Xiao Huang didn't understand. I could only stare at him blankly. The little brother saw this. I had to print out a copy of the ticket and hand it to him, and told not to lose it. Subsequently, Xiao Huang walked out of the store with the lottery ticket satisfied. The corners of her mouth rose slightly, and the strange girl Xiao Huang tripped up. And the little brother is still thinking, how is this odds possible for Zhang Yi? If I win, I'll wash my hair upside down. But when he walked into the room, I saw the surprised expressions of the other 2 employees. The end result surprised everyone. In less than 10 minutes, Zhang Yi won the game. This result made the little brother's eyes widen. He kept speaking beautiful language. It's really Zhang Yi. Gao Peng then presided over the afternoon game. Exhausted, returned to the lodge. Unexpectedly, he just entered the door. Was hit directly by Xiao Huang on a rocket head hammer in the waist. I saw Xiao Huang looking at him with bright eyes. Strange girl, you're so handsome. You're one of the hairless things I've ever seen. The most handsome one. Gao Peng casually asked how it was. Did you get the money? After hearing this, Xiao Huang quickly stretched out his left wing. Death and mutual help bulging little red envelopes. Shouting is all your own. Gao Peng got up angrily, patted the dust and walked in the row. It's all yours. You're a little money junkie. At this time, Xiao Huang asked with a serious face, strange girl. Do you still have the inside information? Gao Peng smiled. Caress her little head. I'm just having fun today. By the way, I will earn you some pocket money. Don't even think about making money with this. Transcript of the conversation. Her phone rang suddenly, and it was Zheng Zhao's father who called. Between the words, Gao Peng is quite admired. Invite her to have time for a meal together. Seems to intend to let Zheng Zhao mix with her for a while. However, Gao Peng is used to this situation. Whether it's background or strength, the language is exposed. It has become a rising star in the domestic limelight. But Gao Peng thinks, the world still has to speak from strength. This kind of petty fight. They all want to make small moves. It's ridiculous. At this time, Xiao Huang was looking at him with a smirk on his face. I knew the weird girl must have inside information. He didn't even tell me. I remember the name Zheng Xiao. He was originally a terrifying Vajra grinding his teeth. But now it's for a bonus of 300,000. Crazy muscle building. Just because he spent all his pocket money. Bought a lottery ticket that is impossible to win at all. Just now, Zhang Yi successfully won the World Royal History Competition. Round 3. But he thinks he can succeed. It's all due to the fact that Gao Peng didn't come to host the game. My heart was full of fear of him. Unexpectedly, he turned his head. I saw Gao Peng working at the junction with Li Yu. Zhang Yijian went to say hello immediately. But Gao Peng was speechless. Obviously, he is also a Chinese. Are you afraid that my elbow will turn out? Players can't beat it. Do you want me, the referee, to go on it myself? Field. After complaining, check the information of the next player. The next contestant was Daisy from Great Britain, and his pre-sale. It is similar to the Hainan of the snake well dragon. At this time, Gao Peng secretly wanted to follow the current arena. Zhang Yi's heavenly fire dog is very likely to encounter the sea blue dragon. Later in the game, Huaxia Gaolux was eliminated in 11th place. Long Bingyu was eliminated in 7th place. Junmoi, on the other hand, was eliminated in 5th place. Champion of this year's World Royal History Competition. It was born between Zhang Yi and Daisy. Gao Peng was speechless about this. His mouth is so smart. It's really the heavenly fire dog versus the sea blue dragon. Then he didn't think much about it. Call. Let's see if Abin is training well. At the same time, Xiao Huang is leisurely. Of reading comics. Gao Peng's voice suddenly came from the camera on the side. His eyebrows flew in fright. Very nervous to get on the phone. You listen to me. Gao Peng said indifferently, you are learning from the eldest son. Train well. After a month, if you can increase your level by 7, I'll give you a bonus of 300,000. However, Xiao Huang said that he did not need training. There's a lot of money right away. I was very smart enough to buy the genuine pin. Gao Peng was a little puzzled. Ask him how to go about buying a lottery ticket. The boss probably didn't understand the duck call. I saw that Xiao Huang immediately took out a wooden plank. It says by all positives. It was Abin who wrote it to me. Then, Abin, who was behind him, suddenly gave him a big stroke. Didn't you say you wouldn't betray me? Gao Peng sighed lightly after hearing this. Are you stupid? Zheng Xiao lost this morning. Your little money is all down the drain. Your bet is lost. When the words fell, Xiao Huang's body was instantly petrified. I can't accept this reality at all. Gao Peng was strong and hurriedly comforted, "Don't be sad. As long as you level up 7 levels after a month, I'll give you a bonus of 300,000. On this basis, it is 1 more level higher. The bonus is doubled." The figure of Xiao Huang suddenly came to the training room, lifting a 100-pound dumbbell and stretching the weird girl frantically. "I don't want money. I just want to know who won Zheng Xiao." Gao Peng patiently explained to him. "The player who defeated Zheng Xiao was really strong. I promise he certainly didn't play match fixing. You just need to train well now. It is guaranteed that you can stew and eat the most expensive duck food." At this time, Liu asked him indifferently, "Do you really not think about being a referee in the finals?" Gao Peng hurriedly waved his hand and refused to go. "Now the internet is all saying that I am a poisonous horse. If the championship fight Zhang Yi loses, definitely going to throw the pot on me." The next day, the first World Youth Imperial History Competition. The finals are in full swing. Zhang Yi is the last hope of Huaxia District. 3 top-notch pre-orders were fielded. They are the Golden Shell Wild Boar and the Heavenly Fire Dog, and a Black Gold Factor. And Daisy's side is his signature Jade Beast Sea Blue, and 2 elite quality Earth Lotus Towers. Gao Peng relieved himself of the responsibility of referee. Sit in the VIP audience, watching the game intently. How strong is the strength of the ancient divine beast Sea Blue Dragon, facing the strong encirclement and suppression of Jinbei Wild Boar and Tianhua Dog. With just 1 bite, it instantly kills the Jinbei Wild Boar. It's another season of tail flicking. Crack the throat of the Heavenly Fire Dog. Just now, the finals of the World Youth Imperial History Contest are about to start. Pre-sale by Daisy's signature Aquamarine Dragon. Fight against Zhang Yi's 3 top pre-sales. Gao Peng, on the other hand, sat in the VIP stands, close quarters to oversee the game. Suddenly, I found that the eyes of the Sea Blue Dragon were actually heavy. I can't help but think of Dump's Bloodshot Star. It should be a super organ with some kind of supernatural ability. Just after Liu said that the game started, the Black Gold Factor instantly covered the field with pollen. When the pollen drifts to the Golden Boar and the Heavenly Fire Hound, the eyes that had been sluggish instantly brightened. "Recesses, please." The Golden Boar suddenly raised its head to the sky and roared. 2 scimitar-like fangs are aligned in front of you, like a tank rushing out. Daishi saw this, hurriedly ordered the Great Emperor Lotus Tower to quickly use the escape wall to dissolve the Een. The Tower of the Great rose up by manpower. An earthy yellow rock wall was erected in front of it, successfully defused the attack of the Jinbei Boar. Daishi kissed in the bottom of her heart. Fortunately, the site was built of white jade basalt. The earthen walls that make the Lotus Tower condense are very hard. Otherwise, it will be broken by the Jinbei Boar. Right now, a red figure, leaping into the air from behind the Kim Boar. I saw the Heavenly Fire Dog burning with scorching flames all over his body. Suddenly launched a surprise attack. But suddenly, a dragon's tail pumped into the air, instantly whipped the Heavenly Fire Dog in midair away. Then the blue dragon turned to look at the Golden Boar. Roll out the thick dragon claws. Beat the Golden Shell Boar embedded in the earthen wall. Cup. However, the Jinbei Boar, which had lost its sense of pain, did not feel it. The blue dragon let out a furious rage. At this time, the living dog roared in the sky. A raging flame burned all around him. Leap into the air again and launch a surprise attack on the Sea Blue Dragon and the Golden Boar to form a positive momentum. The Sea Blue Dragon saw this. Yuanzong glowed with a chilling blue light. It can be seen that the vicinity of the body of the Sea Blue Dragon turned into a piece of fire. A raging and dense column of water slowed down the opponent's offensive, but the water column couldn't stop the Heavenly Fire Dog at all. Like a torch, the blue dragon rushes into the snow towards the sea. Unexpectedly, the water column was only the body of the Sea Blue Dragon. Long dived underwater. His real target is the Kim Boar. At this time, Zhang Yin's enemy flashed a trace of panic. Hurriedly let the Jinbei Wild Boar return for Shiyue. The sea blue dragon burst out of the water, bite the head of the golden boar. Gao Peng saw this scene, shaking his head with a sigh. Thoroughly extinguished the mind of cultivating factor like jade beasts. After taking the medicine, although it became drought, it was not for death. But IQ has plummeted. The death of the Jinbei wild boar made Zhang Yi blind. Kill me a pre-sale. Then I'll kill you a pre-sale celestial fire dog too. Kill his earth and tower. There is no shortage of in Luo Tianhua dogs who have a sudden farewell. Dash your body towards the earth and towers. At this time, the bottom of the sea blue dragon's eyes was heavily twisted inward. When two are reintegrated into the same copper head, aquamarine dragon body. Suddenly, he appeared behind the heavenly fire dog. The thick tail pumped fiercely towards the wave of the heavenly fire dog. The sky was full of blood mist and instantly swayed on the field. Then he fell heavily to the ground. There was a low wail from his mouth. Zhang Yi was very heartbroken when he saw this. But the reality is always cruel. Chen Shang said that he admitted defeat and asked for recess. There was an instant burst on the field. Hail Daisy as the World Series champion. Almost at the same time, the internet is all about the entertainment of Gao Peng. They condemned him as a referee, led to the loss of the championship in the Chinese region. Gao Peng's expression on his face was indifferent, but I still fainted a little in the bottom of my heart. If you participate in the competition yourself, the ending should be able to change. At this time, Xiao Huang suddenly appeared in the arena, made Gao Peng a little embarrassed. But it suddenly occurred to me that since Xiao Huang was here, maybe you can save your reputation. He was a scary, the fearless ancient mythical beast sea blue dragon. But he was single-handedly struck by Vajrajima Crow. It was even more by his super wrecking punch. The fight is in danger of being destroyed. Just now, Daisy is enjoying the award ceremony to become a world champion. Unexpectedly, Gao Peng suddenly brought Xiao Huang to the awards. Daisy on the side of the stage was very confused. I don't understand what kind of playing Gao Peng is doing. That's when the staff came to the chairman's side. Asked Gao Peng if it was a bit inappropriate to do this. Rusi smiled indifferently. Isn't it normal to think that young people are a little impulsive? Just ask the people below to cooperate. At this time, Xiao Huang was pointing at Daisy and scolding. It's you who caused me to lose all my pocket money. Stupid hairless woman. But Daisy couldn't understand the duck's call at all. Seeing this, Gao Peng leaned and adjusted the headset. Then he said with a smile on his face, and said congratulations to Miss Daisy. Successfully won the world championship. However, my child was a little unconvinced. He just turned 1.5 years old this year, and reached the middle stage of the leadership rank. So our champion, Miss Daisy. You can ask your aquamarine dragon to help. Educate well. This disobedient little duckling. After hearing this, Daisy scolded Gao Peng hundreds of times in her heart. For him, there is no benefit in winning this game. If she loses, Mingyu will be greatly affected. Can be for the chairman of the High Friends War. There was no reaction from the top of the station. Apparently acquiesced. Daisy knew it was a contrast that couldn't be refused. Had to agree to Gao Peng's invitation to fight. At this time, Xiao Huang was warming up. The crisp sound of bones kept coming from the body. Between classes, Xiao Huang's right foot suddenly exerted force. Shoot out like a swordsman. The sea blue dragon sword-like instantly activates the skill. Turn your surroundings into your own soul. Trying to slow down Yellow's sprint. But Xiao Huang's grinding field can exclude everything, even speed. The surrounding water disappeared without a trace in an instant, then burst out with all his strength and threw a heavy punch. Knocked the massive body of the Azure Dragon into the air. Mother Tree support. The Azure Dragon let out an angry roar of pain. Use her long and tough tail to whip the little yellow away from the Mother Tree. Didn't wait for Xiao Huang to land. The Sea Blue Dragon opens the abyss. The demonic maw strikes again. Xiao Huang propped up the ground with his left hand. The body is shifted to the right. Avoid the deadly bite of the Azure Dragon. But he still couldn't escape the pursuit of the dragon's claws. knocked to the ground with a heavy blow. But Daisy's eyes at the moment are a little different. He noticed an eerie glow on Xiao Huang's body. It seems that the body size is gradually getting bigger. Then, Yellow kicked the azure dragon in the neck. With an arrogant cry in his mouth, he didn't have enough to eat. Great attraction. This arrogant tone completely angered the sea blue dragon. In an instant, he burst out with all his strength and attacked Xiao Huang frantically. I can't wait to smash him into meat sauce. She breathed a sigh of relief when she saw this. I thought about such a furious attack. How could that little yellow duck be able to stop it? Is Gao Peng just like that? But the next scene made him slap his face instantly. I saw that Xiao Huang's figure suddenly skyrocketed several times. Catch the attack of the sea blue dragon with one hand. With an unhappy face, he said thank you for your attack. Great attraction. Then throw the azure dragon into the air with all your might. During this period, Xiao Huang gathered the strength of his whole body in his right hand. The whole body exuded extremely terrifying energy fluctuations. Just listen to the sound of popcorn. Xiao Huang unleashes a super wrecking punch. Hit straight to the whereabouts of the sea blue dragon. Accompanied by the sea blue dragon fell heavily on the field. Xiao Huang raised his extremely exaggerated muscles, looking up to the sky and shouting, "It's really cool." And Daisy was already so frightened that her face turned pale. Hurry up and admit defeat. Seeing this, the audience outside the venue was desolate. They all sighed that this is the strong man we slide down. And the public opinion about Gao Peng also dissipated in an instant. At this time, Gao Peng told Daisy not to worry. The sea blue dragon looked miserable, but it was only a skin injury. Recuperation gets better in a few days. After speaking, he took out a black card to apologize. Let Daisy. You can join your own lab at any time. But Daisy is not uncommon. An aristocratic family in Great Britain. Why run to Huaxia? Go join someone else's lab. Gao Peng smiled slightly and didn't explain. Because he believes that it will not take 5 years. Or even less. His laboratory will become the world's top existence. He was originally the first emperor of the ages, Qin Shi Huang. Once ordered 1,000,000 heroes to swallow the 8 desolations and sweep the Liuhe. Accomplish the epic feat of dominating the world. Even if the body dies resolutely, will be turned into a dragon soul to protect China forever. Now, millions of Qin generals quietly revived from the mausoleum. It's all because Qin Shi Huang, who has achieved great things for thousands of years, returns to the world. Just now, the military heard that the mausoleum of the first emperor happened a little recently. Immediately send the elite to the Lintong area to reconnoiter for a few days. At this moment, the ground under his feet exploded. It is centered on the mausoleum of the first emperor. Erupted in a strong burst of earth, cracked out of the depths. The sky that had been clear suddenly darkened. Lightning resounded through the heavens and the earth. A stone hand crept out from a crack in the ground. In an instant, several clay bodies broke through the smoke and dust. Descend under the morning sun. 99 Lao Qin went to my rivers and mountains. No blood is shed, no death is a truce. Millions of Qin troops contributed in an orderly manner. In the temple of the mausoleum of the first emperor. At this time, the main forest suddenly collapsed. Burst out with an extremely dazzling blue light. One pressed the golden light to wrap his shoes and wrapped it in a murderous aura. Led by 2 dark red one-horned red horses, he rushed out of the mountain axe. Seeing this, the military did not dare to slack off. Hurriedly ordered a strike of alert. Always ready for fire cover. At this time, the spirit soars in the air. The mouth issued a nomination to the sky. Let the morale of the military skyrocket several times. Unexpectedly, Guanggu suddenly shook violently. It was rumored that he was a cold hung. Showing strong dissatisfaction, the little yellow bird also dared to call it a god. Dissolve the mist. Suddenly there was a dragon roar in the distant sky. A huge dragon hand emerged from the sea of clouds. Following Cambrian riding the white dragon and bowing down. At this time, There was a crystal sound in Guangwuli. Developed a mysterious interest in dragons as creatures. At this time, the representative of the military held a bullhorn. Loudly speaking, we have no intention of being an enemy of His Majesty the First Emperor. But ahead of you, it is our sacrosanct place. If His Majesty the First Emperor really wants to forcibly invade, we also definitely have the courage to fight to the death. If His Majesty the First Emperor is willing to reach an attack with us, defend the alliance. We are willing to provide information on today's world. After a short silence, Guangwili let out a faint epilogue. The army of millions of terracotta warriors and horses retreated to the mountain mansion. At the same time, a radius of dozens of miles has become a forbidden order, blocked by the military. This is a veteran who found Ji Hongwu. You old guy gets tougher and tougher the more you live. I can say you can live another 100 years. Ji Hongwu smiled indifferently, that was for sure. I'm going to hug Xiaoping's grandson. The veteran waved his hand angrily. I know you're thinking about your grandson. Let's go back to him quickly. Ji Hongwu listened. Turn around with the white dragon and leave your side. Pay attention. That makes the things in the yellow forest always feel a little wicked. Call me if there's something. Meanwhile, Xiaoyan is playing in her uncle's water by the lake in the villa. Unexpectedly, a white figure broke through the sea of clouds. Fall into the lake. Xiaoyan Dingjing took a look and found that it was a white dragon. Hurriedly stammered and explained that Brother Long Long was good. I just wanted to help you try what the water temperature is in your house. The white dragon's huge body shook itself and dived to the bottom of the valley. The splashing waves easily overturned Xiaoyan. Gao Peng looked at Xiaoyan, who was spread out in the water. I can't help but complain that every sentence is unjust. Then I thought in my heart that whenever there was a critical moment, Grandpa will inevitably be dispatched. It is likely that there is some kind of tacit agreement with the government. The coalition government needs to rely on the power of the grandfather. Therefore, my grandfather attached great importance to the Union government. This is for the South. The survival and development of the Tian group is bound to be a good thing. But it also means my grandfather would often have to put himself in danger. There's no telling what enemies you'll encounter next. So he decided. For Grandpa, cultivate a trustworthy lord in Jade. And he already has the best candidate in his mind. Don't look at this spider's ugly appearance. But now she is like an elegant and cold queen, evolved into horrific cruelty to sows. Just now, Gao Peng decided to cultivate a trustworthy imperial historian. Reduce the number of times your grandfather goes out on dangerous tasks, and the object of cultivation as a lord and imperial history. It's Huangya. Later, Huangya came to Gao Peng's laboratory to report. Gao Peng went straight to the point. Ask him if he wants a lord-level pre-sale. Huangya was shocked by these words. I can't believe that the lord-level pre-sale is actually giving away casually. Gao Peng explained indifferently. I can give you a lord-level pre-sale, although there is no way to commit 100% to it. But as long as you work hard, there is a great possibility. Huangya took a deep breath. Try to calm your excitement, of course. Gao Peng asked him not to rush to agree. With great power comes responsibility. Great with lords and pre-sales. You have to take the corresponding responsibility. You will become the new hero of Nantian Group. At certain specific times, there are also some troubles to face on behalf of the Nantian Group. Huangya was silent for a moment and nodded fiercely. And live up to the cultivation of the high whistle. Gao Peng listened, turned around and took Huangya to the cultivation room. I hope you don't disappoint my grandfather. The two of them had just walked into the cultivation room. A huge spider appeared in front of me. Gao Peng was indifferent to the fact that you had failed to advance. It is estimated that this life is fixed at this level, and I can let you complete the unsuccessful evolution. After saying that, he asked Abin to translate this passage to him. After listening to Abin's translation, the terrifying and brutal so immediately recalled. Abin then turned his head and said to the master. He said that as long as you give him the evolution, he can forgive you without eating you. Catch him when he comes back. I saw Gao Tengzhou's body glowing with a pale blue light. The heart suddenly sounded dumb. At this time, Dumb was running by the lake. Accompany my daughter to read a book. Suddenly, Gao Peng's voice came to his mind. Like a black lightning bolt. Rushed to the lab. Less than 3 seconds. Crossed a distance of hundreds of meters to Gao Peng's side. I saw a golden lord halo on the body of the dumb boat. With a disdainful look on her face, she looked at the horrible and cruel sow. Gao Peng showed a cold look. We're here to help this beautiful Miss Spider. Let's figure out the current situation. A moment later, the horrific and brutal sow was covered in scars from being beaten. Green blood kept coming out of the mouth. Then, Gao Peng Chinshang said, I don't have much patience with you. If you surrender, you can become a lord. If it is given to stubbornness, I don't mind. I have one more half-lord gold box in my collection. When the voice fell, the sow endured the pain and nodded hurriedly. Signal that you agree to sign the contract. Gao Peng immediately asked Huang Ye to come forward and sign with him. Joyful, Huang Ye pressed her hand on the sow's forehead. The signing was abruptly interrupted in the middle of the contract. Gao Peng didn't ask him what was wrong. Huang Ye immediately explained. This sow is a bit guarded, so you need to try a few more times. Gao Peng saw this. Immediately instructed Abin to go over and adjust. Direct. Abin went up and gave the sow 2 big fights. Hurry up and sign the blood gas obediently. I want to be beaten again, right? As the contract gradually dissipated, Huang Ye successfully signed a blood gas contract with the sow. Gao Peng immediately began to prepare a purification solution. Then pour all the prepared liquid into the sow. The workshop is horrific and brutal. The sow is surrounded by a sparkling light. Suddenly raised his head to the sky and roared. Surrounding dirt. In an instant, the sow was completely hid there. Gao Peng then took Abin. Lin Kai said that evolution takes a while. If you are worried, you can stay here and wait for him to evolve. Meanwhile, a group of white-robed men arrived. 1,000,000 mountains outside the city of Yuzhou. And these people are the followers of the Holy Luo heavenly sect. Come here to find the mountains and forests mentioned in the festival. The blond man at the head of them is named Jerry. It is the general religion of believers. I'm obsessed with what is recorded in the ceremony. Immediately flew to the mountain on his own jade beast. Have a good conversation with him. Early the next morning, the surface of the rock ball, condensed by the sow, emerge one after another prey. Just listen to a click. A long, sharp silver hair pierced through the crack, accompanied by a complete crack of the rock ball. Horror and brutality. The sow successfully evolved into a horrific cruelty to the sow. Stand like a queen in the sun. At this time, Gao Peng said indifferently to the yellow duck and train hard. If you want to show off, you can take it to the vicinity of Yuzhou City. Yellow duck nodded immediately. I understand. Thank you, noble. He was originally a terrifying 6-winged thunderbolt. But now he is crying and saying that he is too weak. People don't love themselves anymore, just now. Horrific and brutal sows. Successfully evolved into a horrific sow kill. At this time, the phone next to Gao Peng suddenly rang. The cell phone number made him a little different. Didn't Su Xing just ask for leave for something? How did you call out of nowhere? Once the call is connected, Su Xing only said quickly, I have a friend who wants to get to know you. It seems to be rated as a 4-star in Yuzhou or something. Gao Peng's name immediately appeared in Gao Peng's mind. I've heard that he went to the mountains in days alone. Rumors of unknown material are explored. If you can take it, it will be of great help to the opening up of Nantian Group. And Gao Peng, this will be fine. I decided to bring everyone back to meet in the city center. 20 minutes later, a red one suddenly appeared in the sky high in the city center. Meteors only hear the sound of the sky. The meteor slammed into the ground like lightning. Wait for the smoke to dissipate. I saw Gao Pengqi say on Xiao Yin. Why are you flying all of a sudden? Xiao Yin hurriedly apologized that she didn't kiss. But just now it was clear that it was flying well. Suddenly I felt like a lump of xiang was thrown in my head. And the reason for this is that Dumb was promoted to the Lord's record. Brings a new secret skill, Soul Chain. You can sign it with one. The pre-sale of Flesh Chi is soul-locked. Long-term and pre-sale soul chain binding. The strength of your own soul will increase to a certain extent. If someone wants to attack at the soul level, it's equal to and the Lord. And the strength of the soul of the pre-sale should. So Gao Peng wanted to give it a try on a whim just now. I didn't expect Xiao Yin to react like this. So he decided not to tell Xiao Yan about it first, lest he chatter for a long time. However, Xiao Yan kept apologizing in the back. Later, Gao Peng had a meeting with Su Qingji in the restaurant. Straight. Then he asked them straight to the point what they were looking for. Lin Xinrui said indifferently, "Classmate Gao, you know, the first of the white gold. There are some differences. Isn't this a notorious extremist organization?" "How would you ask me this?" Lin Xinrui explained. "They are a bunch of lunatics who are completely uncommunicative. The base camp of the Platinum Head is in the country of Sands. Member. They are all extreme and fanatical followers of the Holy Luo Heavenly Sect. The means of human bombing are often used to carry out terror. Attacks do not care about the lives of innocent civilians. Just a few days ago, someone is outside the city of Yuzhou. Once, I saw the head of the Platinum haunted. Outside the city is where the mountains and forests gather. The weakest of the mountains and forests are also occupied by lords. The number has reached hundreds. If the head of the Platinum tries to make the mountains riot, the city of Yuzhou will be razed to the ground in an instant." After Gao Peng listened, Qinsheng asked, "Then why did you look for me? Or what do you want from me?" Lin Xinrui immediately explained her purpose. "It is hoped that Nantian Group will come forward to solve the Platinum Head. Hold up an umbrella for your fishing boat." Gao Peng was a little embarrassed. He thought he was looking for himself to upgrade the pre-sale. It turned out to be against himself, behind the Nantian Group. So he agreed to Lin Xinrui's request. Nantian Group will take over this matter. Then he took out a business card with a smile on his face. "If you are willing to join Nantian Group, all pre-sales are all likely to get the chance to upgrade. And there is no cost." Lin Xinrui took the business card casually. "Since you have given me such a good benefit, then I need to pay for what to say in advance. I only like women." Gao Peng explained indifferently. "At present, there are only 3 hunters in the world in Yuzhou. So you deserve the value." After that, he got up and left, and thought about it. "I'm waiting for your news." As soon as I walked out of the restaurant, I contacted Huangya. "Let him take Abin with him. Dumb and Xiaoyan and Xiao. Immediately go to the North Road exit and meet yourself." At this time, the eldest son suddenly rushed to the camera. In front of him, he said that Gao Peng was eccentric. "I didn't call myself when I carried out the task." Gao Peng then asked him, "Are you stupid? Can you beat Xiao Huang? Or do you have Xiaoyan flying fast? Is there an Abin beating? You're a little different from them right now. How can I treat you with confidence? Train at home." At this time, Xiao Huang came to Dizi's side and comforted him. "Don't worry. I'll protect the weird girl." The voice fell, and Dizi cried and ran away. He kept saying that everyone was bullying him. And Gao Peng looked at the tone of the bund of Fishing Boat City. It's really too dangerous this time. The eldest son is still staying at home. Gao Peng then rode Abin to the outside of the city. Huangya is riding a horrific sow followed. But when the two arrived at the gathering place of the mountains and forests, there is only one big pit that catches your eye. Gao Peng immediately ordered Xiao Yin to fly into the sky. Look for the mountains and forests or other human tracks. He was originally a terrifying actor who played the flaming crane. But now in order to release the strongest Sha Zhao, the rainstorm pear blossom poured out the feathers all over its body. Just now, Xiao Yin flew high into the air. Look for the hand of Beluga and the trails of the mountains. A moment later, Gao Peng's voice came to Xiao Yan's voice in his mind. I've seen a lot. Gao Peng hurriedly asked a lot of questions. At this time, Xiao Yan looked down from a high altitude. Countless mountains and forests exude a strange atmosphere. Gather as a ball. Gao Peng's heart is different. Let Xiaoyan not expose her presale. Pretend to be a wild monster. I felt the breath of many mountains and forests in front of me. Panic faded from the sky. I saw that Xiaoyan was stunned for a moment. His eyes were full of horror. Then the two wings flutter back twice. Finally, it fell from the sky like a kite with a broken string. This scene happened to be seen by the people of the Holy Luo heavenly sect. Is this one-horned bird on sale? There are so many Lord-level monsters here. The breath dares to fly so tightly. The red-haired girl was indifferent. Maybe it's a brain-dead bird. The leader Geru told the two to leave this alone. The ceremony is about to begin. And at their feet, a mountain forest slowly rises up. Golden rocks emerge from cracks in the pitch-black rocks. At this point, Geru crossed his hands. Keep praying for the protection of the Holy Lotus. Let's start to evolve the mountains. And in the middle of his prayers, a strange insect slowly flew towards his back. A group of Geru suddenly broke in the police office. A golden beetle. Instantly swallow the strange insect into the warehouse. When the golden beetle will claw, embedded in his back, Gao Peng's whereabouts suddenly appeared in his mind. Geru then changed into a black robe, ordered to let the winged thunder aid come over to entertain him. At this time, Xiaoyan had just flown back to Gao Peng's side. Just as he was about to let his master praise himself, a ball of purple lightning suddenly flew behind him. Seeing this, Xiaoyan's feathers on her body suddenly rose. A rich element of fire spreads all around. In an instant, countless feathers were boosted by the flames. Fly Stereo Watch transformed into a golden-red flame shield. A flame shield from the sky. Silk withstood the attacking ball of purple light. Take a step across the streak. Instantly protected Gao Peng behind him. Unexpectedly, the purple electric light ball attack was too fierce. Xiaoyan was about to lose her support. Wang Yi saw this, hurriedly roared and turned into an elemental shield. The ant of the enro tortured and killed the sow. An earthy yellow passport was condensed around his body. Then he instantly appeared in front of Xiaoyan. Resist the fish waves of the purple lightning ball. Xiaoyan then retreated to the ground. I feel very sorry for my beautiful feathers. At this time, Xiao Huang took off his small yellow wings, very intimately draped behind Xiaoyan. Unexpectedly, a ball of purple lightning struck again. Xiao Huang hurriedly pushed Xiaoyan aside. Instantly activate the skill Forbidden Realm. But the purple electric light ball that hit did not dissipate. Suddenly slammed the dog into the belly of the little yellow. Gao Peng was so frightened that he broke out in a cold sweat. Even the forbidden motorcycle field. None of them were able to counteract the impact. This is actually a lord-level attack. Gera saw this. Lung Hung snorted. It seems that this duck is a waste. As for the other two spirit masters, Ji Yu's voice did not fall. Gao Peng suddenly flew a huge beast before his death. Kick up a large cloud of dull smoke. Gao Peng deposited a look. It turned out to be a perfect quality spirit master Jimu peacock. Garuden beside him said, "In order for you to die, pious repentance of sins committed. I feel the need to let you know. The one who sent you to St. Luo Tian tried it. Remember my name. Bishop Geru of the Forest of Life. He is the greatest bishop of the Platinum Head Synod." At this time, Huang Yaxiasheng said to Gao Peng, "I passed through the flesh right away. Contact the red blood horse. Let him inform the reporter." The enemy was very red when he saw him. Xiaoyan instantly condensed several fireballs. Chao Jialu magazine. Unexpectedly, Lei Yuan just waved his hand lightly. Then he grabbed all the fireballs that came in. This scene made Jialu angry. Dare to do it to the great bishop. I killed them and turned them into the underworld. Wings are far away, spreading their purple wings. Attack with a dash of forward. Gao Peng and Huang Ye stood together. Without hesitation, he gave the order to kill. Recess. Dumb and terrifying cruelty to kill the sow openly forward to fight. A battle broke out between the lords. He was a feared tyrant of the sea, but now faced the lord and the powerful enemy Tomb Peacock, and a vine controlled by it. The fight was powerless. Just now, Adon and the horrific Sao erupted in power at the same time. Fight against the thunderbolts that come on with wings. Only with the winged thunder Aid burst into a roar. With one hand, he took the claws of the horrific and cruel Sao Fengrui. At this time, the blood demon heart in Adam's chest beat wildly. Stout arms shoot out of the target and hit the winged thunderbolt. Unexpectedly, countless vines suddenly appeared in front of him, forcibly interrupt the punch thrown, and the operators of these vines. It was the wooden peacock who had been watching the battle from the sidelines. Seeing this, Gao Peng hurriedly ordered to leave the peacock alone. Destroy these vines to support the sows. Just listen to the sound of the air. Dumb threw a punch. The attacking vines shattered the formation. Suddenly, a towering tree flew into the air, straight towards Dumb. Seeing this, Dumb's hands began to condense bloodshot stars. The bloodshot star turned into an ancient arrow. With a single sword, the towering tree was split in half. But infinitely generated tree vines completely limited Dumb's attack, unable to compete with Sao's in the form of Shaper Thunder. At this time, Jialu has been hiding on the wooden peacock. There was no opportunity to practice the tactics of decapitation, and there are dense forests all over the corner. It's completely the home of the wooden peacocks. At this time, Gao Peng's head flashed. Turning forests into deserts can't be destroyed. He then gave Xiao Yin an order to map the surrounding forest. Burn this forest down for me. A large amount of flames erupted from Xiao Yan's mouth. The surrounding bushes were blazing. Jialu snorted when he saw this. Think that's useful? It's naive. Would Peacock hurry up and manipulate the attack of plants attracted by the flames? They almost saw Huangya fly suddenly before his death. The roots of the tree were set on fire with the branches. Though, the flames burning on the branches were intercepted by shields. But the branches were pumped on him without reservation. Gera saw this scene and showed a sound effect. The battle is over. Horrific killings. The Sao and the winged thunderbolt are in battle, gradually falling into the downwind, and Dumb and Mukong are in a stalemate. Vines are extremely resilient, completely restrain Dumb's movements, and several believers suddenly appeared around Jialu. It's a shame to have the sound of a saint coming out of your mouth. Ah, a genius who slid down. It is about to fall in this mountain. Then he gave the order to kill them all. Don't let go of any jade hand. Meanwhile, following Han Wu was in the conference room. Discussed the development strategy of the Shaanxi region. Unexpectedly, the red-blooded military horse suddenly crashed open the gate towards Han Wu. Following Han Wu, he looked at the panting red-blooded military horse. Ask what the situation is. Secretary Han immediately explained that he understood. This is Huang Ye's red-blooded military horse. At this time, Cambrian's heart suddenly burst into flames. Huang Ye went out with Xiaoping today. Xpeng should not be on the other side. The Tree Desire Beast formed a fan-shaped siege. Surround Gao Peng and his party in the center. Seeing this, Huang Ye said nobilely, when you get the chance, you can just go. When the time comes, put the heads of these guys in my grave. The former can be regarded as a death without regrets. Gao Peng told him not to be so pessimistic. We still have whole cards. In the middle of the painting, the size of the little yellow suddenly skyrocketed by hundreds. Showing a huge head is dead platinum hands. Turns out the previous fire attack. It is not only the destruction of the earthly chi that is powerful against the wood peacock. And under the cover of flames, Xiaoyan smoothly moved Xiao Huang to safety. According to Gao Peng's instructions, Xiao Yin woke up Xiao Huang at the same time, also constantly superimposed passives on him. The lords of both sides are caught in the current war. As long as Xiao Huang passively stacks high enough, you can bet on the same well. That's the key to breaking the game. But the believers of St. Lotine, relying on the advantages of many pre-sales. The order was given immediately. Kill that ugly duck with eyebrows. Yellow heard their taunts. I was angry in my heart. directly hit a big force and fly. The golden retriever lion, who was the first to strike. Then he kicked the blue crocodile next to him. Unexpectedly, this happened. A large amount of spider silk trapped him firmly. The red-haired girl saw this. Hurriedly ordered the glass mantis to kill those two people. The glass mantis of the enro was suddenly fly. The huge twin forward struck at the two of them. At this time, Gao Peng suddenly pushed Huang Yi away. He spread out his hands. Forcefully take the attack of the glass mantis. He was a feared top Beastmaster. Now, but he used his body to resist the power blow of the glass mantis. However, the attack did no harm to him. Not even the clothes showed scratches. On the contrary, the muscles around Xiao Huang's body skyrocketed again. In an instant, Xiao Huang's size skyrocketed to 10 meters tall, like an angry-eyed King Kong roaring out. The Attorney Association is wrapped in 1,000,000 tons of impact. In an instant, the glass mantis was torn apart. Geru broke out in a cold sweat under this scene. Unexpectedly, Gao Peng would still have a hand. At this time, the mountain forest in the distance suddenly went unconscious. The ground beneath his feet began to shake violently. Seeing this, Geru let out a sound effect. The strongest king of the mountains and forests is about to be born. That's our platinum first. The beginning of the conquest of the world. These words shocked Gao Peng's heart. Hurriedly looked up to the east. I saw a dark mountain. Blood-red lava flows. It is constantly approaching several people. Through the system, it was discovered that this mountain was the king of the mountain forest, and it is breaking through the king pole. At this time, Geru shouted to the mountain forest and shouted to the mountain forest king. Trap them. Don't let anyone go. The voice fell. Several stone powerhouses suddenly rose around Gao Peng. But Shirchong also roared beside Geru. Geru's face changed. Asked the king of mountains and forests why he didn't wait for him to finish. Pitch-black stone walls instantly trapped everyone in darkness. Then Gao Peng pinched off the root of the tree. Reach out and pull up the yellow teeth that were slumped on the ground. Through the orthopedic bones that keep coming out of the surroundings, Gao Peng guessed that he was now in the mountains and forests. A hole in the body that constantly emits heat aroused his quasi. It looks like the only way out, but it's not clear what will work. Where to go? So Gao Peng had to insist on waiting for his grandfather to pack it, in order to break the current situation. And then Han Wu got reliable news at this time. Knew that Gao Peng was leaving from the North Crossing. Immediately rode on the white dragon to find it. His face was filled with murderous intent. I want to see who dares to touch me. Step Han Wu's grandson. Minutes and seconds passed. The man at the head of Platinum. Let the winged thunderbolt keep attacking the stone wall. Just listen to a dream. 2 large pieces of masonry were knocked off and fell. Gao Peng. The idea of destroying the stone wall and rushing out was extinguished in an instant. Just the speed at which the stone wall is destroyed. Fear. It can't keep up with the speed of the Mountain Spirit King's top 10. Then he instructed Xiao Yin. Let him poke Xiao Huang's ass a few times if he's okay. Just in case. But the temperature inside the cave gradually warms. If you continue like this, you may die of dehydration. Adam saw his master so uncomfortable. I couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness on my face. At this time, Garrick found Gao Peng. It is proposed that the two sides cease fighting on this basis in order to have a chance of survival. And there's a way to buy more time. This made Gao Peng a little curious. Geru blurted out the offering. Now the king of the mountain tomb is in a critical period of promotion. Requires a lot of energy. That's why he follows his instinct to devour. Then point to the hole on the side. This cave is connected to the interior of the mountain forest. As long as we take the initiative to send in the offerings, before he feasts on the perfect meal, it is not actively spreading popularity. Gao Peng said indifferently, let's go get it for him. The words stopped suddenly. His expression instantly became fine. Do you want to? At this time, Geru said gloomily, we take turns sending pre-sales to the past. Fill his belly. To show our sincerity. I can do it first. The pre-sale of the gloom rushed into the scorching cave in an instant. Garu then took a deep look at the college entrance examination. I have already expressed our sincerity. Gao Peng immediately refused. They were all my friends. I can't. Sacrificing a friend's life to stall for time. Unexpectedly, Abin suddenly rushed to the cave master. I'm going to help you stop this big rock. I'll go and I'll come back. Gao Peng hurriedly shouted for him to come back. But it was too late. The red-haired girl next to her saw this scene. I can't help but laugh at the hypocrisy of the Chinese people. Obviously sink your craps. It's duplicity. At this time, Gao Peng's face became extremely gloomy. The eyes seemed to devour the girl. Just listen to the boom. Gao Peng slammed a heavy punch into the girl's face. Then he said coldly, and said another nonsense. I'll tear you up. Then he took Xiao Huang to rescue Abin. He came in a rush of flesh. Abin is still alive. Unexpectedly, the rocks above his head suddenly fell. Look up. Then he saw a powerful giant dragon claw of Aoi. Layers of black rings dotted over it. He was a terrifying land. But once he was. But it's a petite and weak gray spotted magic orb. Since Grandma Chin, who has been with him for several years, has been driving a crane. Go west. Made his young personality extremely withdrawn and weak. But the appearance of Gao Peng, it gave him hope to live again. Although Abin always becomes bloodthirsty and wild in battle. But Gao Peng never abandoned him because of this. Has been silently guarding his side. Now, in order not to let his master be trapped in the mountains and forests, without hesitation, drill into the inner core of the mountain forest. Serve as a sacrifice. Gao Peng felt remorse in his heart when he saw this. If Abin is therefore secret, he will have all the mountains and forests buried for him. Just now, following Cambrian, the white dragon broke through the surface of the mountain forest king, successfully rescued the trapped Gao Peng. Gao Peng then let the white dragon break through the rock beside him. In a panic, he said that Abin was trapped inside. Bang! A powerful dragon claw of Aoi instantly broke through the hole. Unexpectedly, there was a cave under the entrance of the cave. I can't see where it leads. Gao Peng had no choice but to shout out to Abin. Can you hear me? Come out at this time. Gao Peng's faint voice sounded in his head. I'm so sleepy, host. Gao Peng hurriedly leaned over and shouted at the entrance of the cave. Hurry up and get out. Grandpa has arrived. We can go home. But there was no response. His expression also became extremely lost. At this time, Garu and his party were hiding next to the cave. Looked at Gao Peng and them vigilantly. Unexpectedly, Gao Peng suddenly turned his head. With a fierce face, do you think I'm going to forget you? There is also a platinum head in Grandpa's cave. It's a sworn enemy, please take recess. The white dragon swung out its dragon claws and slapped it fiercely at Jialu and the others. Rich plasma squirted out instantly. Gao Peng looked at this scene with extremely complicated feelings. I did my best to be on par with Jialu. In front of the white dragon, it was just a matter of a claw. Whether it is catching turtles in the dream of the stone wall of the king of the mountains and forests just now, it's still the domineering light of the white dragon. I'll show the king Ji's absolute crushing advantage over the lord level. Let Gao Peng re-examine his path to becoming stronger, whether there is a mistake or not. At this time, the king of the mountains and forests looked up to the sky and wailed. The magma on the surface of the body is getting darker and darker. There is even a tendency to extinguish. Gao Peng had a hunch that the general trend was not good. The breath of the king of the mountains and forests is getting more and more. And Abin's breath of life is gradually disappearing. At this point he seemed to think of something. Shouted to Ji Han Wu Grandpa, can you let the white dragon kill a few mountains and forests? This made Ji Han Wu a little different. Gao Peng hurriedly explained. Abin's breath of life is weak. Now there is only a mountain forest and a new one to raise the king of the mountain forest. To save Abin. Words angry. The white dragon craned its neck to look at the mountains and forests. An extremely thick white mist came out of his mouth. It can be seen that the white dragon's slender and huge body is huge. Walk through the mountains and forests. Gusts of wind and thunder. A moment later, the dragon claws held several golden pieces of the gold box. Then the white dragon threw all the essence cores on the mountain peak. The body surface of the king of the mountain forest exudes extremely high temperatures. Constantly inhale the core of the mountain forest into the body. At this time, the system suddenly pops up. Mistakes were made in the evolution of the king of the mountains. A new life will be born. There are some differences. He felt it. There is a faint new force in the belly of the mountain, but it is full of a strong desire to survive. But it's not clear if it's Abin. Gao Peng blamed himself extremely at the moment. Question yourself. Haven't you always followed the principle of prudence? Why is this time so floating? It put Abin in a predicament. Then Ji Hanwu patted him on the shoulder. Personally comforted Xiaoping. Don't blame yourself too much. Let's go back and think long. Grandpa will help you get Abin out. I saw Gao Peng's eyes full of killing intent and resentment. Here the dead body Abin was erected. If you die, I'll make all of the entire fishing state. The mountains and forests will accompany you for your funeral. Look at this spider's cute appearance. But now the size has skyrocketed to more than 500 meters tall. Evolved into the Lord of the Mountains, the Scourge Boar. Just now, Abin. Half a month has passed since he was trapped in the King of the Mountain and Forest. During this period, the feathers of the little swallow grew back, made Xiao Huang very envious. Didn't you say that you would drag it down together? And because of the things of Abin, Xiao Huang and Dum have been training hard for half a month, especially the big print. Although he doesn't say it, but every day is the first to get up and train. Also the last one to sleep. And Gao Peng can feel it through his blood. Abin is not in danger of life. Just fell into a deep sleep. At this time, a huge force suddenly poured into his sea of corpses. A sudden increase in distance. He couldn't control it for a moment. His feet were deeply embedded in the earth. The big tree next to him was damaged when he touched it. A large amount of information suddenly appeared in my mind. Gao Peng couldn't help but guess. The third Imperial History ability is super anti-sensory. Has the Tao awakened? At this time, a faint voice came from the depths of my mind. Where are you, host? I'm so scared. I was afraid of heights and could hear it as Abin's voice. My heart is excited, Abin. Have you woken up? Where are you now? But I didn't get any response. Gao Peng speculated. Abin should be the king of the mountains and forests. Absorbed or radiated. Otherwise, it is impossible to explain the power of this sudden surge. Guess Abin should still be in the same place last time. At this moment, there was a burst of blue light around him. With the transcendent senses of the newly awakened, it allows him to perfectly control the power at his disposal. Then he beckoned to a few cuties. We want to pick up a bang and go home. I saw the big character cautiously ask him Gao Peng, or you'll be my opponent this time. Gao Peng randomly taught. No, let's compare the ratios. The eldest son asked suddenly. Then if you win, will you give me a good taste? These words made Gao Peng's face darken. I'll buy you something delicious when I lose. If I win, you'll have nothing. The eldest son showed a disdainful expression after hearing this. Stupid friends. Then you're going to lose today. The voice fell. Gao Peng rushed out of the furious air like a sharp sword, shredding the air. Crush the ground under your feet. The eldest son behind him looked confused. This can't be a dumb man in the skin of a high friend. However, Gao Peng had already run hundreds of meters away at this moment. The eldest son shouted at his back and shouted dumb. Wait for me. Then, Gao Peng's gentle voice echoed in Abin's heart. I'm coming for you, Abin. But when Abin opened his eyes, but I found myself in the sky. Who doesn't know their size? It is more than 500 meters high, like a sky-swallowing beast. Seeing this scene, Dzi and Stupid asked Gao Peng to run quickly. But Gao Peng casually put Stupid in front of him. You take a closer look at who he is. However, Chun was already stunned. The soft body is actually a little stiff. Gao Peng found it through the system. Abin has evolved into a natural calamity, and the level has reached Wang Jie. Gao Peng looked at this behemoth. I have mixed tastes in my heart, although I can no longer travel with Abin at any time. But still happy. Abin was still able to stay with him. Between classes, Abin's huge body sat down suddenly. It's like a huge mountain collapsing. Set off a storm in the sky. At this time, Abin looked at Gao Peng and said, "Melancholy master, I want to hug you, but now I can't." Gao Peng was very surprised by these words. The words spoken by Abin did not come through the flesh. It's real. Sound coming through the channel. Then Gao Peng stroked Abin's head. The little fool. Haven't I always been there for you? You have absorbed all the essence of the king of the mountains. So start today. It's up to you to be the lord of the millions. Transcript. Adon waved the good master, who looked up to the sky and roared before the play. Then I'll take care of the mountains and forests for you. Be the lord of this mountain. At this time, the white dragon was looking at Adon on the sea. A bewildered face. Is this still the little spider I bullied? He was a terrifying and peerless soldier. But his grandson. But it is the biggest weakness of his invincible road. He always cared for his grandson. The grandson is not allowed to suffer a little setback. But now there is an explosion of power. Throw a punch at your beloved grandson. Just now, Gao Peng asked his grandfather, "Is Abin's promotion to Wang Ji to be hidden?" Both Cambrians shook his head, and Abin's size was too large. There is no way to hide it. Now the whole of Yuzhou knows about it. The government said it would give us a reason, and it has been reported to the Huaxia district headquarters government. But even if you say it, what? These people are all bullying the weak and afraid of the hard. I disappeared and returned to the blue skies. It's almost overhead all the time. Carved encounters all kinds of Nozomi. There are snipers in ambush wherever they are. Even the family has been planted with bombs in advance. Gao Peng's expression became gloomy after hearing this. Ask who did it. Both Hanwu smiled indifferently. Look at your grandfather king. Is it someone who pays attention to 10 years is not too late? I took the white dragon to the door in person. Kill a river of blood. And then they were afraid. Originally, my grandfather wanted to help you block the wind and rain for 2 more years. The result is a blink of an eye. You've grown to this point. I don't need my grandfather. The arrogant cheeks of these words instantly turned into fire grandfather. In this case, should I go through the process and be coquettish? This is Huang Ye suddenly rushed to report. Noble throbbing those 2 sentences. The pre-soul bodies have been transported to the laboratory. The knife shed was a little embarrassed to see the scene. He left for the laboratory to dispose of the pre-sold corpse. Unexpectedly, he just took 2 steps. An extremely cold, murderous aura suddenly struck behind him. Just listen to a wicked laugh. Following Han Wu's heavy fist, the afterimage of the evil fruit was pounding. Seeing this, Gao Peng suddenly fought forward. The same group blasted out. The sudden attack made him a little vicious. I asked my grandfather which play he was playing. Han Wu waved his hand indifferently. The strength has grown a little. I'll make you something to eat when you're hungry. But Gao Peng just left the villa. Han Wu couldn't help but complain. This stinky boy doesn't know how to respect the old and love the young. Let Grandpa use so much strength. I saw his arm tremble slightly. Until now, it has not slowed down. But I am also very pleased with the self-preservation of my grandson. But on many things, you can also let go of your hands and feet. Meanwhile, in the open space of the laboratory, a sea valley where winged thunder apes and wooden peacocks lie, Huang Ye looked at the 2 sentences of Haigu, sighed lightly, and the wooden peacock was originally saved. After being brought back, he never ate or drank. Starved himself to death. Gao Peng. Indifferent, the jade beast wants to respect us with death. Let him beg for virtue. You don't have to force it. At this time, Dum was surrounded by the aura of the Qilin Lord. The hand condensed the beauty of Wang Ling. Gao Peng indifferently ordered that Dum should appear. How can it be seen? Wang Lingzian gushed out from Dump's palm. A huge soul fire swept everywhere. But Wang Lingzian did not react to Mukong. Gao Peng couldn't help but guess. It should be Dumb level insert Peacock level 1. Therefore, he can't transform Wang Hai whose level is higher than his. But plug in. Wing Thunder Source was covered with the flames of the undead at this moment. Snow-white flames burned around him. The soul flames that lurked in the sea valley flew out one after another. And these are the fragments of memories hidden in the soul. Slice for Dumb. These memory fragments absorbed. It will cause mental confusion. Therefore, these fragments are burned to ashes. It can be seen that Wang Hai, who has winged thunder sources, slowly stood up. An explosive roar came from his mouth. And it has a new name, Winged Skull Garden. Although it is not the first time that Gao Peng has seen it, but it will still blow him away. This is to bring the king back to life. The power to bring the dead back to life. Then Gao Peng looked at Mukong. But sigh softly, your master is not a good one. But you really are a good jade hand. Immediately ordered. Let the Skull and Bones Garden transport it back to the lab. And tell them the good news. Xiaohua had already evolved successfully in the afternoon. I guess I'm still asleep in the cabin. You go back and see if he's awake. After saying that, he got up and returned to the villa. The Dumb behind him bowed deeply to his back. Thank you, hosts. It's a terrifying dark fright. But now I was scared by the camera and broke out in a cold sweat. Just now. Gao Peng frowned and looked at the surveillance video. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Just because several orange trees suddenly appeared above Abin's head. Then, a flash of purple lightning flashed across Abin's back. Gao Peng said through the camera, Qin Shang, the eldest son. What are you doing? Was so frightened that the eldest son froze instantly. The two tentacles on the top of his head swayed wildly. Hurriedly turned his head. With an innocent face, he said I didn't do anything. Gao Peng noticed the dirt on his paws. Ask what it is. The eldest son was speechless when asked. Hurriedly hid his claws behind him. At this point, the camera extends out of the robotic arm. Grab the big boy and spin 360 degrees in the air. How many times have I told you? Don't bully Aban. The eldest son struggled hard at the moment. Stinky Gao Peng. Let me go. I saw that the eldest son suddenly burst out of water and electricity. Break free from the shackles of the robotic arm. Then he fled like a wild horse that had been depulped. Don't move. I'll get you oranges to eat when I get back. At this time, Huangya in the laboratory suddenly called. Gao Peng asked indifferently what was wrong. Is there any progress in what was previously arranged? Huangya immediately replied yes. Hi and less. The establishment of the school in your name has been completed. Orphans who are enrolled in school are to be enrolled. The first batch has also been arranged. The school was built relatively close to the group. As per your requirements, tuition, fees, and speed are all inclusive in the United States. Teachers and courses are also followed by experts. Results will be available soon. Gao Peng's confession of satisfaction with this did a good job. Make sure that what they learn is top-notch. If you have excellent grades, it is not impossible to send pre-sales. But there's no such thing as a free lunch. If you get it, you have to give. And all we want is a little center. At this time, Huangya suddenly thought of one more thing. A noble lady named Lin Xinrui is long. Gao Peng suddenly thought of taking him directly to the laboratory. I made an appointment with senior sister Lin before. Half an hour later, Lin Xinrui came to the laboratory with his pre-sale. It seems that the junior brother didn't harvest last time. Wrong. Gao Peng smiled indifferently. It seems that the senior sister has also seriously considered it. Trust me, join Blue Sky, and you will definitely not regret it. Then he glanced at the leather shrimp behind Lin Xinrui. Is this the pre-sale you want to upgrade? Lin Xinrui immediately nodded. Discovered through the system. This skin shrimp is called the fine-tailed paradise shrimp. The abilities seem mediocre. Nothing too big a feature. Although he has 6 perfect qualities. But either way, it's hard to get all the materials together at once. Thereupon, Gao Peng said to Lin Xinrui regretfully that there are some materials. Something is missing. If you're lucky, materials can be found within a week. But if you are not lucky, the voice is not down. Lin Xinrui nodded in understanding. There is no 100% successful pre-sales manager in the world. Even if it fails, I understand. But I believe. Gao Peng immediately said seriously, rest assured. I'm sure I'll do what I say. Meanwhile, the vicinity of the Kumgang Bridge was completely blocked by the military. Inside the cordon, there are a few words of the ancient guard station. Director Luo Qian was very troubled by this. Ask where the witnesses are. The subordinate next to him immediately replied. Witnesses were in the car. But the mood is a little less stable. The way the deceased died made Luo Qian very puzzled. The corpses were cut off and thrown into. It is impossible to imagine the strength of the murderer. Then, the subordinate looked at the surveillance video and shouted loudly to the director. There is a situation on this side of the monitor. Luo Qian. I was scared into a cold sweat by what was in the surveillance video. The statue of Guangong, the symbol of the King Kong Bridge. He rode a tall horse and moved slowly around the city. Luo Gan immediately ordered to quickly call up the monitoring records. Be sure to find the exact location of the statue. This is a subordinate and a hurried debriefing report. Director. The missing statue was found in the porcelain mouth square. These words made Luo Gan's expression solemn. The porcelain mouth square is the largest. One of the business districts. Instructions are then given. Immediately evacuate all citizens of Porcelain Mouth Square, except for those in the army and the guard department. The square is only allowed to enter and exit. I didn't look at this bronze statue of Guangong. The appearance is mediocre. But now the whole body is bursting with dazzling light. Holding the blue dragon eye moon knife, he quietly resurrected. Just now, Gao Peng came to the porcelain mouth business area to buy materials. But I found that today's business district is unusually deserted. It was the statue in front of him that caught his attention. Isn't this the statue of Guangong on Jingankyo Commercial Street? How could it be here? Unexpectedly, a row of data suddenly appeared next to the statue. After the bronze statue of the Spirit Lord and the activated Guangong was eroded by the courtyard calendar, Birth of Life Opportunity evolved into a living sculpture. There are some differences. Calendars and beliefs are two different things. There is no place to burn incense and bow down on Jingankyo Commercial Street. At most, pedestrians pass by the statue and pay attention. So I immediately took out my mobile phone and dialed my grandfather's number. Let's briefly enumerate the situation here. Following Cambrian listened. The tone was calm, and the government didn't tell me about it. But usually they let me know when it happens. Gao Peng told his grandfather not to be angry. Maybe they don't want to make a noise. Nor do these people know about it. Following Cambrian smiled indifferently. I haven't been so stingy yet. Lei Gong is closer to you. We'll come over as soon as possible. Although it is an animated statue, in Yuzhou City there is no wind and waves. But in the land of China, which has a strong historical heritage, there are too many things like the statue of Guangong. At this time, the black chess troops of the Union government rushed to the square, and also with 50 heads. The boss-level black love dog fights together. Then the black dogs spread all over the square. Keep slowly moving towards the statue of Guangong. At this time, the statue of Guangong suddenly opened his eyes. Under the crotch is the horse roaring in the sky. Guangong. A dark golden lord's aura suddenly appeared all over his body. Luo Qian saw this. Hurriedly ordered. Immediately notify the lords and imperial historians of Yuzhou City. Evacuate all police officers immediately. This is a black lover dog towards the statue of Guangong someone. But unexpectedly, he was able to crush the process of steel. It can only leave a white mark on the statue. Just listen to the boom. Guangong held the blue dragon eye moon knife. The domineering blow pierced directly through the belly of the black love dog. The black dogs were stimulated by this scene. They all went to great lengths to encircle and suppress the statue of Guangong. The green dragon eye moon knife in the car room. Mass afterimages were pulled in midair, cut the attacking black dogs in half. At this moment, the ground under his feet suddenly began to tremble violently. A section of the whole body of the case Luo Jian pierced the ground. There was another bang. Lei Gong pumped purple electricity all over his body and came to the center of the square. At this time, Gao Peng said indifferently to everyone, "Please ask, who is Director Law?" As he spoke, the guns fell from the tree and surrounded him. Gao Peng hurriedly explained that I was a kind citizen passing by. "Mr. Gao, this is my grandfather's pre-sale Lei Gong." Luo Qian immediately asked everyone to put down their guns. How can a gun be pointed at an enthusiastic citizen? In my heart, I was thinking, could he be the legendary Gao Xiao? Hurriedly took Gao Peng's hand. The monster is wreaking havoc in its passing. Mr. Gao is also invited to be the general public, and Yuzhou City to lend a hand. Gao Peng immediately agreed. This is what Union citizens should do. At this time, the eldest son looked at Lei Gong and said, "Lei Gong, Master, please ask you." The voice fell. Thunder the size of a basketball condensed from Lei Gong's claws. Just listen to the sound of the wind. A flash of lightning exploded not far from Guangong's feet. The statue of Guangong swayed, turned around and stared at Lei Gong. The statue of Guangong was like a lightning bolt between classes. Pull the ground out of a long trench. The speed at which the copper horse was drawn down was getting faster and faster. Guangong slammed out with the Aimu knife in his hand, just as Guangong suddenly jumped into the air. When he wielded the Aimu knife and slashed towards Lei Gong, Lei Gong's claws condensed a fierce electric light. In a flash, Guangong's statue was instantly entangled by the god of thunder. Just listen to the sound of the air. Guangong was smashed to the ground by Thor. At this time, Guangong wanted to desperately break free from the thunder hand around him. Unexpectedly, the arm was suddenly twisted into a strange shape. Seeing this, Gao Peng sighed lightly, and the overall situation has been decided. This attribute restraint is really ferocious. This is the suicide of a subordinate, said in Luo Gan's ear. Shu Chong, this bronze statue is not in the battle just now. Consumes too much energy. That's why it was easily won by Mr. Gao. Luo Gan listened, scolded. Then I'll ask Mr. Gao's presale to stop the output. Send you to try how. Gao Peng then transported the statue of Guangong to a truck. Returned to the house rented in 58.com. Thank you, Secretary Luo, for your generosity. I won't get the credit for this time. It's all yours. He was originally a feared martial arts official, but now he is covered by kunkins. He was even buried in an earthen pit. Don't dare to make any moves to resist. Just now, Lei Gong panted and controlled the power of thunder. The eldest son hurriedly translated Gao Peng. Master Lei said he was a little tired. Gao Peng was very distressed when he saw this. The power it takes to suppress lords and monsters. Definitely quite a few. Let Lei Gong withdraw the power of thunder. Saw. The thunder god bound to Guangong gradually dissipated. Guangong's arms slammed. The thunder god on his body was instantly shattered. Then he swung the moon-covering knife and slashed at Gao Peng. Unexpectedly, this knife was caught by Gao Peng steadily. Such a small effort. Didn't you eat? Turning into a enro. A huge black shadow suddenly appeared behind Guangong. Frightened, his scalp shook violently. At this time, the ground under Guangong's feet suddenly cracked. The surrounding soil kept gathering towards him. Crazy squeezing of the interior space. The result was a 50-meter diameter giant. At this time, Gao Peng looked at Abin. I'll leave this to you. Just listen to the sound of the air. Abin sat like an old hen on a ball of earth. At this time, Huang Yi suddenly called Noble. This is according to your command. Photos taken by our people near the giant Buddha. Although the big Buddha in the photo, the list of properties does not pop up. But Gao Peng, I am not sure whether the Buddha has developed constipation. Maybe it's just not awake yet. And in the Yundao City Library of the Merged State, 10,000 Buddhas were revived overnight. No one knows what happened inside. And it's not just sliding that happens mutile. Rome. A similar situation has occurred in Greece or Egypt. Gao Peng sees this very clearly. Coalition governments WeChat. And mastery is gradually declining. Despite the union government for the survival of humanity, make a huge contribution. But the whole world is evolving too fast. Human beings are no longer the main part of the biological chain. The only thing that can be done is to accept the facts. Then make yourself stronger. Then Gao Peng asked Huangya to continue to follow up on the latest news. He hung up. And the sculpture of Guangong in the food is full of face at the moment. It seems to have resigned itself to its fate. At this time, Gao Peng looked at Guangong with a heroic face. It suddenly occurred to me that his weakness was the filthy spirit. So he found a branch kunkin to accompany Guangong. Even brought a basin of black dog blood and splashed it on him. Guangong was annoyed by his operation, but they didn't dare to do it. Gao Peng, on the other hand, frowned. Black dog blood and excrement are not filthy. The filth of it. Is it hidden material that has not been discovered? After that, I returned to the lab. Let Abin chat with the bronze statue when he is fine. It's better to ask again about the reason for the killing. The voice fell. It's good for Abin's huge eyes to stare at Guangong. Finally someone to talk to me. I saw Abin smiling. Kept talking to Guangong about being with Gao Peng. Fun happens. It's a huge claw as thick as a skyscraper. But the bronze statue of Guangong was poked directly into the soil. Although Guangong has always refused to communicate with Abin. But Abin's mouth never stopped. Casually asked him why he wanted to kill. In the end, Guangong couldn't help but speak. I just saw hooligans molesting good families. And he slew them with one sword. Can you shut up? At this time, Abin looked at Guangong differently. You turned out to be able to speak. Let's continue the conversation. A few days later, Gao Peng sat on Abin's back, traveled to the depths of the Million Mountains. Although it is safe to stay with Abin, but it's too hot. Once Abin moves, anytime and anywhere, it's sucking up the heat of the earth. It emits extremely hot black gases. And the high fear of the target of this operation, it is to explore the infinite treasures of millions of mountains. If you can cooperate with the mountains and forests, build a pattern similar to the mountain station. For individuals or teams, there is a safe rest area in the wilderness. Then build a commissary and sell it at a high price without accumulating poverty. And you need to pay for accommodation at night. Rest during the day is charged on a small basis. The more Gao Peng thought about it, the more excited he became. It's all about making a profit. It is necessary to create a path to riches. He was frighteningly red-eyed. But now he was drooling when he looked at Huangzong's corpse. Just now, Gao Peng has united dozens of mountain forests. Establishment of the Yamanoya exhibition. And in the meantime, Xiao Huang Dazi's level reached level 39. And the Xiaoyan level reached the 4th century. It's only one step away from breaking through to becoming a spirit master. Gao Peng was very happy about this. It won't be long. There are 4 Spirit Lord Extreme Jade Beasts under his hands, plus a King Pole Jade Beast. Unexpectedly, a large group of lion blades suddenly struck ahead. Gao Peng had heard of these guys. Their hypocrisy possesses paralyzing toxins. I regret being hit. The body is extremely numb. At last, watching themselves be eaten by them. At this time, the corners of his mouth rose slightly. I'm going to try Abin's new abilities. Clouds of natural disasters. Visible. Hot lava exploded in the lion blades. There was a series of crackling explosions in the air. I saw that the group of lion's blades seemed to settle down. One after another fell from the sky. Even if it's so far away. Gao Peng could vaguely smell the aroma of fried oil in the air. Then he greeted Xiaoyan. Go to the place where the lion's blade fell. Tens of thousands of bladed corpses. It represents tens of thousands of gold rivers. Gao Peng will definitely not give up this opportunity to make a fortune. At this time, Xiaoyan looked at the charred lion blade on the ground. The unassuming saliva flowed all over the ground. Immediately picked up a lion blade and swallowed it in his belly. Gao Peng behind him looked confused. Could he be so greedy? Then, Adon suddenly appeared beside him in a black robe. Gao Peng pointed to the corpse in front of him and was infected. Try to see if you can put these corpses to the music. Dump's hand condensed the flame of the undead, constantly pouring into the body of Lion Peak. I saw the soul of the Lion Peak slowly emerging from the body. Can be a second. The soul suspended in mid-air burst again. Dumb then explained to the master. This monster does not have a complete poison in its body. Cannot be resurrected. Gao Peng sighed lightly. It was a pity. But when he turned his head, discover 3 cuties. He was enjoying the flesh of a lion's blade. Then he turned around and told Dumb to try. Revive the dead in the depths of the earth. I saw a roar coming out of Dump's mouth. The aura of the White Lord under his feet was suddenly released. Countless undead spirits emerge from the depths of the earth between classes. Come and worship the tyrant of the sea bone. This is the sea skeleton of an adventurer. Attracted the attention of Gao Peng. Hurriedly said to Dumb, this one will be buried in the ground. Dumb then retrieved the undead. The sea bones of the adventurers of the feast fell apart in an instant. At this time, there was a commotion in the forest. It was mixed with the angry roar of the skeleton beast. Dumb immediately turned his head to look at the master over there. There's movement over there. The summoned skeletons encounter other monsters. Dumb then ordered the Wang Lin Legion to go over and check. A moment later, a golden rat suddenly burst out of the bushes. Gao Peng looked at him with a look in his eyes that was instantly confused. Hurriedly ordered Dumb Xiaoyan to catch him. I saw a large amount of flames erupting from Xiaoyan's mouth, burn a wall of fire ahead. But the golden mouse is extremely flexible. Turn instantly to avoid the incoming muskets. Unexpectedly, Dump's figure flashed. Suddenly appeared behind him. In one hand, he held the golden mouse in the palm of his hand. The knife shed nodded slightly when he saw this. I didn't expect to have a windfall. Discovered through the system. This golden rat is called the ingredient rat. And the reason why Gao Peng likes you. It's that his attribute is mystical. Then let Dumb throw the food rat to Abin. And let Wang Lin army gather the corpse of the lion blade together. Half an hour later, all the carcasses of the lion blades were piled up into the pit. Gao Peng in the cave immediately let Xiaoyan exert his strength. Please let Xiaoyan spit out a mouthful of fire before class. The corpse was burned cleanly. In the end, there are golden brown monster gold boxes all over the ground. Gao Peng looked at it with emotion. After having power, want to fight for wealth. Sure enough, it was a very easy task. After that, Adon ordered, let the Royal Tomb Legion bring all the rivers of gold to Abin. And Gao Peng looked at Jinhe with golden eyes. In his eyes, these can be worth hundreds of thousands of news. So I was full of energy again. Strive for half a month. Take back all the remaining forests. And behind him, the eldest son is telling Xiao Huang and Ah Cheng to eat quickly. Otherwise, you won't be able to eat it when Gao Peng finds out. Don't look at the appearance of this worldly rat. Looks cute and cute. But now it was thrown into the oil pot. And also add green onions, ginger, and minced garlic to taste. Just to make him a yellow-faced and thin-skinned Wanbao rat. Just now, Gao Peng took Dumb and returned to Nantian Villa. Suddenly a wand burst out of the lake. A chainsaw-like crocodile tail. Seeing this, Xiao Yan's feathers suddenly exploded. Chao Hu sent out a fierce nomination. Gao Peng hurriedly stroked Xiao Yan to calm down. This is not your enemy. It's a cold dance. Looking at the lake, he said indifferently a month ago. Flooding occurred in the Pearl River Delta. This guy crawled out of the underground river at that time. It just so happened that I took a fancy to bring it back and raise it. I saw the ancestor of Bijia in the lake. Radiating essence. The hideous fangs give a strong deterrent. Gao Peng couldn't help but sigh when he saw this. Grandpa is really suitable for raising this type of jade hand. At this time, Xiaoyan sent out a congratulatory gift. The body gathers into a flame egg. Gao Peng nodded slightly when he saw this. Xiao Yin reached level 42 weeks ago, just waiting to come back and find a place to officially evolve. Then, I handed over the tablet that recorded the location of the mountain forest to my grandfather. This time I went out and found 168 mountain forests. All of them are willing to join us. Jihan Wu smiled indifferently. Ask him what he plans to do next. Gao Peng Chunin said for a moment and asked his grandfather for advice. Following Han Wu looked at the tablet. Chen Shangdao, although the mountains and forests are your allies, but the most important core is still Adam. If you make money purely from the mountains and forests, is the most superficial way. Opposite, a hunter who relies on the mountain forest station to go out on an adventure, or the most valuable group. Bring them all together. Even if you put the money upside down, you won't lose it. Gao Peng suddenly realized. A trade union organization can be formed. Change the mountain forest station to a membership program. Become a member to enjoy discounts. It can also be linked with the items sold in Nantian. Following Han Wu, he immediately added another. The net of the mountain forest station project. It is better to give some of the income to the Yuzhou government. Not only will it be more stable, it will also reduce many of the troubles on the White Road. In the end, the two discussed and decided. The name of this organization is Explorer Soul Attack. Meanwhile, the eldest son was lying on the lawn and falling asleep. Unexpectedly, Gao Peng suddenly pulled his tentacles. Walk in the direction of the laboratory. Subsequently, Gao Peng threw Daisy into the prepared purification solution. At this time, Daisy suddenly woke up. Asked Gao Peng why he threw himself in. Gao Peng explained indifferently. This is the Thunder Element Pharmaceutical Co., Limited that is specially configured for you. You're in it, and you're going to evolve well. After speaking, he turned to look at the money rat and thought silently. There are only 3 evolutionary routes for him. I don't know if it's the reason for the mystery department, or is the potential of the rat not in itself. I don't think much about it anymore. First the blood, and then improve the quality. Then he took out an iron pot and asked the sage rat to jump in. The frightened rat's hair trembled. Gao Peng immediately signed a dislike with him. Promise that you will never hurt him. The red rat had no choice but to hold back tears and jump into the pot. Gao Peng kept sprinkling purifying materials. Then closed the lid. A miserable teaching voice can be faintly heard. After 10 minutes, remove the lid. A strange fragrance fills the air. Gao Peng pinched the talented mouse from the pot with his hands. I can't help but complain about how the more I evolve, the uglier it gets. Although the Shirkai rat successfully evolved into the Wanbao mouse. But it looked like he hadn't eaten for 3 days. But fortunately, Wanbao mouse can continue to upgrade. One is to strengthen the treasure hunting ability. The other is to keep devouring treasures. Inspire other abilities. Gao Peng's mind began to think that I am not only rich. There are many more treasures. Finally, the contract was successfully signed. A worldly mouse. That, of course, is the choice to become richer. Although most of the evolutionary materials are available at home, only the royal monster blood does not have Abin. It's all stone. The difficulty of collecting is too high. It seems that it can only trouble the white dragon. Then Gao Peng hugged the iron bucket and found Bailong Xiaobai. Help. Lend you a little blood. Just a bucket is fine. Bailong's eyes widened after hearing this. A threatening roar came from his throat. I saw Gao Peng constantly coquettish to the white dragon. I've told my grandfather everything. Didn't my grandfather say that he could communicate with you? The white dragon was speechless by this scene. In the end, he reluctantly cut his arm. Give him a bucket of dragon blood. However, at this time, Gao Peng's mobile phone suddenly rang. Don't look at the appearance of this flame dome. It's no wonder, but now it has evolved into Mayan Linha, like a noble and elegant queen. Just now, Gao Peng is coquettish and cute to the white dragon. Successfully obtain a bucket of dragon blood from the white dragon. At this time, President Feng suddenly called Gao Xiao. Long time no see. Gao Peng said indifferently, let's call me Gao Peng. Gao Xiao is too angry. Over the phone, Chairman Feng sighed. Actually, I'm embarrassed to look for you this time. There's one thing I want to trouble you. Gao Peng smiled indifferently. Let's talk about it directly. That is true. After the previous man-eating earthworm king successfully evolved, take the clan back to the mighty desert to fight for territory. I wanted to let the two lords kill each other. Unexpectedly, the man-eating earthworm king has been subjugated by the desert tyrant. Two lord-level monsters are standing in the same room. Gao Peng heard the meaning of President Feng's words. Claims that he can't solve the two-headed lord-level monsters. Although Abin has now reached Wangji, but they are too big to fight from a distance. President Feng hurriedly explained that this time the spirit will also be touched personally. We only hope you can hold off the desert tyrant. Wait for the spirit to solve the cannibal earthworm queen. In the common siege of the desert tyrants. These words made Gao Peng's expression darken. That sounds good. But in my heart, I was extremely angry and found me to be fake. It's true to use me to get my grandfather to do it. He immediately questioned President Feng. Why do you have to kill these two lords? Their presence. And it does not threaten the survival of mankind. President Feng's expression instantly became panicked. The grandson of the head of the military district was on a mission in the desert. Attacked by a desert tyrant. Tragically killed in the line of duty. As soon as the voice fell, Gao Peng hung up the phone. He was responsible for President Feng's deeds. With the previous friendship, he can ask his grandfather to help. But it's ridiculous to want to use my grandfather by myself. As for the grandson of the head of the military district, he died in the line of duty. Most of it is for selfish gain. Stupid lost his life. Days later, the eggs that Xiaoyan transformed were moving more and more frequently. Apparently an evolutionary bottleneck has been reached. And the eldest son has also successfully advanced to the lord level. Wenbao rats have also reached perfect quality. Haishi followed Han Wu to Gao Peng's side. Bronze statue of PR. It's already in front of your welfare school. I heard that I killed a big honey huan just after I took up my post today. Added a dish to the cafeteria. The grandfather and grandson smiled indifferently. Let Guangong be the patron saint of the school. It's also a good use. At this time, the sky suddenly became overcast. Lightning resounded through the heavens and the earth. Recesses, please. The flame dome was surrounded by crimson flames. In the midst of heavy rain downpours and thunder and lightning, a flame dome. It stands out in the woods. Just listen to a Healy. The flame dome shattered. A giant crane up to 4 meters tall spreads its wings. The little goose successfully evolved into would flame Linha, burning flames all over his body. This season, Cambrian said indifferently from the Chang'an military region. Someone has begged me. I know you've refused, but I suggest you check it out. When the time comes, it depends on the situation. If it's inconvenient to make a move, how about turning around and leaving? Gao Peng immediately agreed to his grandfather. All suggested I check it out. Could it be something else? The next day, Gao Peng took Dum and them back to Chang'an. Returning to his homeland is full of emotion. Although I was very happy to live with my grandfather in Yuzhou, but I always feel that Chang'an is home.